Early afternoon, everyone. I've just come down to the gate to collect my post. Here's my little post box. And I decided then to take you all for a walk through the gardens. A little walk on the wild side. A little walk showing you a different aspect of permaculture, because many people who start to interact with Mother Earth are only actually looking to take. So they're looking to grow food for themselves, not really thinking about all of the life around them. So if we look here to the right and onto the field beside me, which is what Bealtaine Cottage looked like 13 years ago, this land is being used to grow food in the form of meat for humans. There's very little on that site that will feed life. And I look down here my little driveway, and here I see a tiny, beautiful little primrose blooming when it shouldn't be blooming, because that normally comes up in the spring. A bit windy because, look, there's a bit of a gap there. You can see where I've planted little trees, and there's no hedge there on the other side, so the shelter is very much what I planted. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take us all into the land, right into the land, and we'll go for a walk on the wild side, and we'll see all the massive food production that's going on for life, not just for humans, but for life. First of all, in comparison to the overgrazed land which is all around me, let's look down at this land. And first, and what is witnessed here is leaf drop, which is feeding the earth and also helping to create habitat for small insects, for butterflies, for all forms of life. That's overlooked when we talk about leaf dropped, because many people see leaf drop, leaf mould, only in terms of building soil to grow food for themselves or for humans. We need to be looking at leaf drop in the way that Mother Earth intends us to look at leaf drop, which is what she wants to do. She wants to nourish the land, and this is one way that she has of nourishing the land, which is her skin. So although we're just a little way in, because of course if I turn the camera around to where Jack is over there, that's the driveway. And you can see the back of the bench on the driveway. So although we're just a little way into the land, it's already much sheltered. Very little movement of the trees and the shrubs. You see, what I've come to understand and very much appreciate here at Bealtaine Cottage, and don't forget that I started this as a permaculture project, and it has evolved into what I happily call Goddess Permaculture. And what I've come to understand here is that if we don't wake up and start feeding all life, then that life, which is essential for supporting us humans, is going to die. Life that is not fed and nurtured will die. If that life dies, we have nothing to support us. We have no safety net. Our safety net is gone. So when I say that this is a permaculture walk on the wild side, let me be quite clear. Permaculture is about all life. And we need to keep reminding ourselves of that. Otherwise we slide into organic growing. And organic growing is not taking into account the necessity to nurture life. Organic growing provides humans with the purest form of food. On a personal note, I'm so looking forward to being able to get down here into this beautiful growing area just as things are beginning to die back, just as the land is beginning to nestle itself in for the winter. I'm looking forward to getting down here and doing a bit more planting, doing a little bit of chop and drop. Wonderful for life because again, you know, chopping and dropping, you're instantly providing habitat. I haven't harvested many of the blackberries. I've harvested some, but I've left them in the main for the wildlife. And of course this is zone 5 that I'm now pointing the camera into. This is the wild edge. But there will be a little bit of culling done on some of this wild edge because I want to get a few more trees in here. And you can see now where I'm pointing the camera, where you have trees, you have shade, you don't have that superfluous growth in terms of brambles. So the brambles can be kept to the edge of the woodland, which is the natural and happiest place for them. And you can see, I'm pointing the camera here, and look, there's no brambles on that path, but just pan over a little bit, and when the woodland edge, where the woodland finishes, the brambles begin. So another aspect of permaculture which is not talked about enough, and in some areas of permaculture is actually openly denied, indeed sometimes castigated, is the urgency of providing habitat for humans like this that allows us to develop our spiritual relationship with Mother Earth. So I'm not talking about, you know, religion or anything that's not visible. I'm talking about the visible, Mother Earth. And the relationship that we should have with her should be a deeply spiritual one, because we barely understand her. And what we don't understand, we can begin to sort of soak up in a spiritual way. It's just so joyful. I mean, I feel like rejoicing when I come down into the woodland here and when I walk these paths and I see the evolution of life. It's joyful. Look, here we go. There's some incredible fungi there. Alright, and then just over here, right beside it, look at this. The miniature world is amazing. Takes us back to being children when we were much, much smaller and we were able to see more actually on the earth. So this walk on the wild side at this time of year, as the light comes through stronger because the leaves are dropping, you can see where Chop and Drop has not just successfully created in the short term habitat, and in the long term it's going to be building up that soil and like an above ground hugelkultur. You can see, look, I've stuck some little laurel cuttings in there and they're being fed and nurtured and protected by the Chop and Drop. More mushrooms. This burgeoning health within these 3 acres is incredible. Mind-blowing, really. And you know, when I was busily writing my first book and getting it ready for printing in, I think it was printed in April of this year, I was sat on the computer, you know, and every so often I was just going on to Twitter or going on to Facebook and just, you know, tweeting out or posting up just a little sort of aspect of what I was writing. Maybe it was just a sentence or 2 that came to mind and I wanted to share it with people. And it was something in the vein similar to what I'm talking about now. You know, that I'm always so much in awe of what's happening here. And I got this rather sour reply from one person. There was a guy who left a comment. I said something like, "This is just so amazing and so wonderful, and to see the land being transformed in such a vibrant way that the land couldn't wait to transform itself." And this comment was something in the vein of so you planted some trees. So you planted some trees. Yes, I suppose I did plant some trees. But I planted them with love. That's an energy that people like that can't understand. I planted them with humility. That's the grace that people like that can't understand. I planted them without ripping other things out, like these beautiful goat willow. Look. That were just little shrubs at the time. And that's something that people like that can't understand. And that would be, I suppose, an extreme comment. And then you get sort of lesser ones, which are more middle of the road. Which want to sort of undermine the idea of goddess permaculture. The idea that there could be anything remotely connected to the divine feminine in all of this. So here I am on a Tuesday afternoon in early October, taking a walk on the wild side. And just over the past 10 minutes since I've been walking, I can feel my whole body has relaxed. I can feel my blood pressure has dropped. I can feel whatever anxiety that was there has just been shorn away. I see life that's been spread not by me, but by birds and small mammals. This is Cotoneaster. Now the mother plant is right up on the highest part of Bealtaine Cottage. So obviously a little bird has been sat here eating one of the berries, or maybe the badger has eaten some of the berries and just pooed them out. But you know, life is allowed to be, and it's allowed to regenerate. And I think that's the ultimate story of the goddess, the regeneratrix. That life is not linear, that life is cyclical and circular, that we live in circular time, not linear time, that there are mysteries that we will never live long enough to fully understand. So part of why we're here, I think, is to try to understand what this is about. And in understanding what it's about, we're allowed to connect, to make that deeper connection. And maybe through making that deeper connection, we're more prepared for what's ahead. Because if we believe life to be cyclical and circular and not linear and not governed by a patriarchal being that simply has allowed us to be on this earth so we can worship him forever, I see no joy in that. I see joy all around me. I feel joy all around me. Even as she's putting herself to bed for the coming months, There is a wonderful joy in it. So here I am, just thinking aloud as I go. Always, always, always trying to make sense of what all this is about. Thinking aloud. And I know that not everyone agrees with the way I think. And that's how it should be. Because we all have to have experiences and try to feed them in to the global consciousness. And that's why we're all individual human beings. Because with this massive amount of individual consciousness, surely we can begin to make sense of it. So my wonderful walk on the wild side. I'd be quite happy for heaven to be like this. Me just walking on the wild side forever and a day. Walking through the seasons. It's incredible. Incredible. I'd be quite happy now to dedicate all of Bealtaine to life. Not my life, other life. I think that's happening more and more anyway. I'm growing less and less for myself. That's Nick hammering away up there. Just finishing off the bedroom. It's so delightful to have someone here making something for me. I've spent virtually all of my time here trying to cobble together things for myself. So it's quite a joy to have someone here who's creating something for me. I'm going to do a video on this, maybe tomorrow or the next day, but you are going to be so amazed at the work that Nick has done up there. And I think Bealtaine has allowed him to be very creative, and you'll see that. You'll see that tomorrow or the next day. Now, back out on the driveway. So I'm going to finish up because I have a meeting to go to at 2 o'clock and I want to be able to get this video uploaded. If you choose to support the Bealtaine project and Bealtaine Cottage, then there are links underneath this video where you can purchase the first book, purchase the incredible and wonderful magical mythical map, or even pre-order the second book, which is going to be published by the end of this month. So I'm quite happy about that too. I feel like this has been a long, slow birthing process, and very interesting as well. So, on that note, I wish you all a lovely day. And I'll speak with you all tomorrow. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking this video. And just thanks for being you and coming here. Bless you all.